The tapeworm, also referred to as cestode, is any member of the invertebrate class of Cestoda, phylum Platyhelminthes, a group of parasitic flatworms containing about 5,000 species. There is no special name for the male or female tapeworm, but the baby tapeworm is referred to as larva. The class Cestoda is comprised of parasitic worms in which the body resembles a ribbon or tape, thus the name tapeworm. Tapeworms appear like a flat piece of tape and are bilaterally symmetrical, meaning the right and left sides are similar, and have 3 recognizable portions. Cestoids are exclusively hermaphrodites with male and female reproductive systems in each body. The adult tapeworm has a scolex, grasping head, a short neck and a strobila, segmented body. The head has suckers and often hooks, which are used to attach to the host. The body covering is a tough cuticle that absorbs food. Some tapeworms consist of long segments. Others have a definite head followed by a series of identical segments called proglottids, containing a complete sexually mature reproductive system. The segments are about the size of a grain of rice. Tapeworms do not devise a mouth, digestive tract, circulatory system, or an organ specialized for gas exchange. However, they do have receptors that can sense light or dark. The tapeworm does shed its skin. On average, tapeworms range in size from less than ½ inch to more than 50 feet, the size of a school bus, and weight depends on the length of a tapeworm and how well it's eating. These flatworms move by ciliary activity. They have a dense coat of cilia, which extends from head to tail, allowing them to glide forward slowly. Once the tapeworm finds a host, a human, animals, or fish, it enters the host body and begins to shed the skin in a process called exsheathment. Then it slowly begins to burrow into the intestines. The tapeworm attaches to the inner wall and feeds on the food that is being digested by the host. Pieces of tapeworm breaks off and comes out the host body in the feces along with the eggs they contain. If the infected fecal matter gets in soil or water, it will continue to infect other hosts. They can slither their way to other places outside the intestine, such as tissues and organs. In order to survive, these parasites must have a host body. Tapeworms get into the host body when a person or animal eats or drinks something that is infected with a worm or its eggs. Once inside the body, the tapeworm attaches to the inner wall of the intestines and feeds off the food that the host is digesting. Tapeworms could be classified as a herbivore, carnivore, and omnivore because they eat the nutrition the host body provides. It does not matter if it's plant or meat, they eat it all. Tapeworms classify as a parasite, therefore, prior to 1997, they were not included in the food web. However, a 1997 paper by Marco Galeese and Clone made by a strong plea for including parasites in food webs, and they are to thank for this transformative change. For example, if a rabbit has tapeworms and a fox eats it, then the fox becomes infected, and the parasite moves up in the food chain. In addition, if 3 animals eat the rabbit, then all 3 animals become infected, again, moving up in the food chain. Tapeworms live in almost all land, sea, and freshwater habitats where vertebrates live, and tapeworms reside in the intestines of vertebrates as a habitat. Tapeworms are more prevalent in underdeveloped communities with poor sanitization, and where people eat raw or undercooked meat from an infected animal. Higher rates of illness have been seen in Latin America, Eastern Europe, Sub-Saharan Africa, India, and Asia. Tapeworms have many adaptations, such as strong suckers and hooks for attachment to the lining of the small intestine. Their morphological adaptations to parasitism include the absence of a gut, head, and light-sensing organs, and a unique surface able to withstand stomach acid and bile. In addition, tapeworms are thin and flattened and have a very large surface area for absorption. Tapeworms must live in a host. They're hermaphroditic, meaning each segment has 2 sets of male and female reproductive organs, which fill the segment with fertile eggs as the segment is pushed back from the neck. When the segment is full of eggs, it detaches itself from the adult tapeworm and is passed in the feces. The tapeworm life cycle is complex. Many tapeworms have a 2-phase life cycle. The adult lives in the gut of a primate, and the proglottids leave the body through the feces, falling to the ground and being eaten by a grazing animal. In general, the tapeworm is found in the intestine of the infected host and its adult stage can live decades, up to 30 years. Each proglottid following fertilization contains as many as 40,000 embryos encased in separate capsules. If the embryos pass out of the host species and are eaten by a mammal, such as a dog or a pig, the larva emerges in the digestive tract. It bores through the intestinal wall into a blood vessel and is carried to a muscle tissue in which forms a protective capsule, incys, and is then called cysticercus, or bladderworm. If the cysticercus is eaten alive, it attaches itself to the host intestines and develops directly into a mature adult. In addition, if the tapeworm is water medium, they develop into a hair-like larva and are eaten by tiny crustaceans, which in turn are eaten by fish. In the fish, the tapeworm larva encysts in muscle tissue. When a mammal eats the fish, the larva attaches to mammalian intestine and develops into a mature adult. The tapeworm cannot live freely on its own. Tapeworms challenge the host in which they survive. Due to their parasitic mode of life, tapeworms do not have a digestive apparatus, but have a well-developed reproductive system and special organs that help them attach to the host's tissues. They also have a mechanism to protect themselves from intestinal substances, specifically from digestive enzymes. The host's stomach acid is like the strength of a car battery, and is meant to protect the body from parasites, but it's stomach acid that breaks down the fatty jelly around the cysts and allows the worm out. So tapeworms basically use the host's own body defenses against the host. No animal can kill a tapeworm. The only ways a tapeworm can be killed is high temperatures, medicinal plants eaten by the host, or lack of a host. The tapeworm classification is as follows.